Unmuted. Ha! Okay, welcome to the pre-show. I'm still setting up. There's still air conditioning running in the background. I can see that my face looks a little sun tanned. I guess I've been walking outside a little bit too much. Maybe I gotta boost the exposure on it. So feel free to say hi during the pre-show. Okay. I'm assuming nothing is going to crash during the show. So if you're going to be joining in to watch this. Now, remember, this is just a live taping, and I'm actually adapting it so that I have a teleprompter, so I am not all deadpan. Hey, why is it so dark? Oh, there it is. Ah! Doesn't look right. That's the wrong direction, man. That's the wrong mirror. Yeah, I hope I don't shift the camera doing this. Dang it. So annoying. This is the Parrot teleprompter. It's not quite pro. Yeah, yeah. So on my live show, I'm gonna actually have to do a little test here. Make sure that my framing is a-okay still. Audio, I know, is not that great. I'm definitely suntanned. Shoot. Oh my goodness. All right, back to the standby. Checking on my air conditioning. Okay, we gotta dump this out. Hello, one viewer. How's my one viewer doing in this live pre-show? Am I centered? I don't know anymore. I guess this is a good gauge of center. I mean, a little something changes each time I set my camera up, so a little annoying. As much as I mark things down, the direction and everything, and remember the focal length, it's never quite perfect. So who is spying on me right now? There's always like one viewer that's just spying on me. I don't know who that is. Oh. Well, now I know why this remote control for the AC does not work. Yeah. Alright, maybe I need to turn this up a little bit. Can you guys hear me okay? My hair is a little bit different today too. I'm using different product in each of these episodes. Okay, I got about 8 minutes. I'll replace the battery of this. Stand by. Standy by. The remote control works to turn it on and off. Doesn't seem to be doing anything else. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, I really look more tan. Shoot. Those morning walks with little baby Amara have really been making me crispy. Okay. Better place to put it? Is that visible right there? I don't know. I'm gonna break the standby. So is that visible right there? Okay, I guess that's a good place to put it. Right there. You're gonna hear me clicking it every single time. I'm tacking my hair. Hey, dude, what's my one viewer? Why are you guys just creeping there? Just creeping. You know what? Maybe my teleprompter is reducing the shade. Hold on. Maybe the teleprompter kills 1/3 of stuff. Okay, that looks a little bit more normal. Yeah, I mean, it's a one-way mirror, a beam splitter or whatever you call it, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Is anybody gonna say hi? All right, audio test between everything, Scarlett Solo USB. Web, Scarlett Solo USB, B cam, not using that right now. Product cam, if anybody wants to see that. I don't think I really need to show that actually, so whatever. Okay. All right, back to standing by. Okay. Doing a little countdown. Give everybody some time to join in. I haven't really been like blasting this too much on social media. I mean, those that are watching via Facebook right now, and who should comment on Facebook, feel free to tell me if this is blasted enough out there. Hard water. No, it's actually reverse osmosis filtered. I'm a water snob, so reverse osmosis for the win, but absolutely always filtered. If I'm in a pinch, yeah, okay, tap water, whatever. All my 2 viewers. You know what? If I go to Facebook, I could find out who you are, probably. Unless you guys are actually on... Well, that just went into overdrive, my AC. So that's public. Who's watching? Are you watching? Oh my god, nobody cares. So is it on YouTube that some people are watching? Nobody cares about me. Why is it that nobody cares about me? Why is it nobody cares? Is anybody watching out there? Hey, that rhymed. Is anybody watching? Anybody care? Is anybody... Oh, hey, there's an ad. Do I get some money if I watch my own ad? I don't know who's watching. I don't know who cares. It is not showing who is watching and where. Okay, who are my 2 viewers? I feel like this thing is out of date. A little behind. Whatever. I want to save some system resources. We're going to turn that off. Resources. Hey, look at this. There's a Joby tripod I haven't used yet. See, I haven't even bended it. Bendy it. I haven't bended it at all. Okay. If I lean back, then you'll get a bit of the background lights on me. Hey ha. Hey ha. We're still in the green. Holy ho. Okay, now we're in the red. Are we going to start right on time? I don't know. You tell me if we're starting on time. You 2 viewers, which I don't know where you guys are watching from. Because you ain't commenting. You're just watching and just staying at 2 viewers. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. You know what? We're not going to start on time because I'm going to find out who the heck are these 2 people that are watching. Huh? Who is watching? What? Okay, maybe it's people on Periscope. I don't even know anybody that's watching Periscope, you know? Okay, whatever. We're just gonna get started. Okay? Hi, welcome to another live taping of a gear review video on the Camera Nerd. Village Camera Nerd. And this is where I will start sweating because I'm going to have to turn off the AC that's blowing in the background. You can hear it if I stop talking. Yeah, it's pretty loud, huh? Right? People actually hear that? Okay, I don't know. I'm going to turn off, wait for it to, do its thing. Wow, that was quick. Usually it needs a little bit more time. Okay, so only background noise you should be hearing right now is actually the fan of my iMac over here that's doing all the live streaming work. And the helicopter. Okay, how's everybody good? You know, I am going to get some more caffeine because I'm talking backwards, kind of like Yoda right now. So, hold on. Oh, I'm still there. All right, hi everybody. I'm back with a nice bottle of light caffeine. You do not want to see me on full caffeine. It gets pretty intense, a little too intense for some people. But the reason I do these live tapings instead of just recording in the studio is so that there's some interactivity. So please absolutely, say hi or something. I don't know. Where's the high audio option? Is anybody going to say hi? I'm not going to start until somebody says hi, either on YouTube or Facebook, Twitch, which I don't know who on Twitch watches stuff like this, but because Trevor Pinocchi said I should look into it, I am doing it, right? So for those of you that are just sitting there wondering out when I'm going to start, hit subscribe on my YouTube. And a notification bell. I'm not going to start until one of you two viewers says hi. Because the whole reason I'm doing this is for interactivity. Otherwise, I would just be recording all by my lonesome. I would not be putting myself out there if people are just being voyeurs out there. By the way, I hope everybody's doing fine where they are. Looks like the protests, which were a little bit too crazy last week, are definitely more peaceful now. So people who are living right in the areas of the protests, I'm glad for you guys. Thankfully, we live in the middle of nowhere, so we're kind of far and away from it. So we can't really say that we've experienced the protests ourselves. I would be out there myself if it weren't for the toddler, which we do not want to bring the whole family out there and possibly get exposed to COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2, SARS-2. I actually am already afraid enough just having worked one, socially distanced gig late last week. So we are very, very paranoid. And we will continue to be paranoid. All right, we're down to one viewer. I guess something tells me I should just get started for myself. This is for me. I'm doing this for me. Okay? This is going to go or not? Okay, here we go. Welcome back to the Village Camera Nerd. Oh, shoot. That is definitely in need of increased speed. Oh, shoot. If anyone's wondering what I'm clicking about, this is a teleprompter. The Parrot teleprompter. It's actually a good price. Welcome back to the Village Camera Nerd. And those of you who watched the Feiyu Pocket unboxing, which is all of you I know, right? No, you know that I got pretty pissed off. Welcome back to the Village Camera Nerd. And those of you, all one of you, that watched the Feiyu Pocket unboxing, you know that I got really pissed off at this thing. Now, since then, the Feiyu and I have had a heart-to-heart and got to know the world. You know, I don't know if this is more efficient, but at least I don't stumble. Since the Feiyu and I have had a... Is this really better? I don't know. Since then, the Feiyu and I have had a hard to... You know what? I'm going to riff it. Since then, the Feiyu Pocket and I have had a heart-to-heart and have got to know it for the gimbal that it is. And to accept it for its flaws and everything. Does spending that quality time with the thing change my mind to recommend it or not and be less pissed at it? No. The question is, does spending that quality time with it really... The question is, does spending that quality time with it actually change my recommendation for this thing and be less pissed off at it? The answer is no. TLDR, it's solid for those looking for a consumer camera, a beginning camera, a la 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 la. Okay, I know what I'm going to say now. TLDR, it's a solid camera gimbal. TLDR, it's a solid camera... TLDR, it's solid for those looking for a beginning camera and those are just beginning in vlogging. TLDR, it's a good beginner camera, but for those... TLDR, it's a solid low-price beginning camera. TLDR, it's a solid low-price beginner's camera for personal uses. But for those looking for professional blogging, filmmaking, or, you know... or journalism, I can't recommend this camera. And I'll show you why in just a second. Now let's take an in-depth look at why. Oh, shoot. Now I recommend watching the unboxing and setup video that I posted to get to know the basics of operating with this camera and what I consider to be its main weakness, as you'll see I very impassionately talk about in it. But for now, I'm going to be jumping... straight for... So I'm going to be jumping straight into... You know what? I'm not sure if this is better. I'm not sure. But for now, I'm going to jump straight forward into my impressions of what... Hi. Who's watching this crap going on? So I'm going to jump straight forward into my impressions of using this itty-bitty thing to document the boring, unemployed pandemic life. All right, and then this goes into video 1. Now, without any way to customize gimbal follow settings, the Feiyu Pocket will only be as good as what settings the firmware gives us. Overall, it's a bit twitchier than the Osmo Pocket. It can benefit from some better default smoothing settings. I would personally add warp stabilizer to some of these shots because it just got too scraggly. It doesn't handle bumpy car rides that well, so that tells me the motors are on the weak side. Face tracking is more or less useless. It puts a reticule on your face, but it didn't seem to do much with it. It lost me more often than it got me. Slow-mo modes are kinda cool, offering 3 built-in slow motion speeds. But it records only to 30p at the moment, so I had to interpret the footage to 24p to get my preferred frame rate. I can tell there's a quality loss when doing high frame rates, which I'll show a test later of. Time-lapse mode is decently functional with your choice of intervals. It creates a video for you, so no raw files to work with for now. Also, it doesn't do any electronic stabilization, so time-lapses can look a little bit twitchy and need some extra stabilization in post. Motion lapse mode is a bit glitchy as well. I was only able to get it to work once, honestly. It was nice when it did work. Hyperlapse mode is just okay. It also suffers from lack of digital stabilization, so the results are twitchy as well. If you're walking in a straight line with minimal motion, it should be fine. The firmware on the Feiyu Pocket just feels glitchy overall. This thing often changed its mode on me without me knowing it, and I found myself blogging in slow motion mode with no audio. Also found myself in follow all mode without knowing, which rolls the horizon easily, so that was pretty annoying. Also, the thing crashed on me a couple of times and I had to reboot, so it can definitely benefit from better firmware. So overall, it's a step down from the Osmo Pocket. Now, I criticized the Osmo Pocket before, but it's with the Feiyu Pocket that I learned to appreciate the Osmo more. So that I'm thankful of this thing for. Now, for those of you that seek a high quality image, here are some tests on the resolving power, which is nerd speak for the clarity and sharpness of the image. Let's start with photo mode. It's worth noting that this is a 16:9 sensor, and choosing the 4:3 aspect ratio will just crop the image down. From afar, the images look decent enough, but in JPEG mode, when you zoom in, there's some obvious sharpening and noise reduction happening, even in low ISO situations. When shooting and editing in RAW, it's actually pretty solid. Pardon the lack of an Instagram-worthy pose here. At low ISOs, there's still grain just from how densely packed these pixels are, but you can use your RAW editor to more properly denoise and add sharpening to improve the image. Now let's switch to video mode with that annoying crop that got me so angry in the unboxing episode. Now let's take a look at how it resolves in 24p for all the available resolutions. At no zoom, there does not seem to be much of any difference between 4K, 2.7K, and 1080p. Let's zoom in on 200% to take a closer look between 4K and, sharpening of not that great of detail. 2.7K, not any noticeable difference from 4K. And 1080p, what the hell, they all look the same. Now looking deeper into the specs, this is a 1/2.5 inch 8.5 megapixel sensor, so essentially 4K uncropped. So when cropped for video, you're looking at effective pixels at more like 2.7K, resolving more like 1080p as you can see here. In nerd talk, this means f you Feiyu for screwing video people out of actual 4K. So for the rest of you, just shoot in 1080p with this thing, 4K is just not worth it. But let's see how the resolving power fares in higher frame rates. Starting with 48p on all resolutions. The results are not good. It's pretty much VHS quality shit. Absolute shit. For some reason, 2.7K and 1080p actually look better than 4K. Honestly, I couldn't really look at it very long, so let's skip to 4K 60, zoomed in, and try not to vomit at just how bad it is. You know what, let's just, move on. So those picky with their image quality need not apply to this thing. This is not to say that the Osmo Pocket is absolute pro quality in comparison, but it definitely doesn't sacrifice nearly as much for video. Now considering how it's not the professionals with professional lighting gear that are looking to use this, let's take a look at how the thing does in low light and high ISOs. Now, being such a small sensor with 1.62 micrometer or micrometer photosites, I don't expect too much in low light. In these normal zoom ISO tests, the locked-in noise reduction balances that out okay though. But of course you'll get splotchy finer details as you go up in ISO and heavier noise reduction. Even when balancing out the exposure to the ISO increase, it seems the ISO increase boosts gamma more than a stop would give you. One of these settings isn't 100% accurate, but then again, who cares with this little thinky thing. So actually, considering how bad the resolving power is, low light performance with no custom picture settings whatsoever is actually not that bad. Not amazing, but not bad for consumers. Now, considering this is looking to be a better camera for the average consumer and Uncle Bob, it's kinda weird that they would include Feiyu in the picture settings. Now, considering this is looking to be a better camera for the average consumer and Uncle Bob, it's kinda weird that they would include a log picture setting. So I dug in. So I dug in to see if this would be the magic bullet of getting amazing footage from this thing. From this thing. When shooting in normal color, the contrasting color is overall old school GoPro quality, crunchy in both highlights and shadows. Auto exposure can end up clipping either end of the spectrum quickly, so this makes shooting in log a little bit more compelling. Now, the raw footage in FY log is super duper flat, so I would assume that this gives you plenty of latitude in post. But the danger is that this is recording in 8-bit 420 color. However, when grading this shot, it looks okay. It did allow me to keep a bit more of an airy look than the normal color setting, but it wasn't a ginormous difference, honestly. I guess since the footage is already not that great, so breaking apart in the color spectrum doesn't really hurt that much. Now, walking with my little Asian Rapunzel, I wanted to see how backlit scenes graded. It did okay, but it got a little bit splotchy on the bricks and skin. Now, you would think that FY log would be super helpful when the background is overexposed and the foreground is underexposed. But the dynamic range of this thing is already so low that it doesn't really gain much and just gets the skin splotchy from boosting the shadows. Now, looking at straightforward faces of me and my little princess in bounce soft lighting, once it's graded, it actually looks okay. So whoever demands log with this little camera, just expose your skin properly. In a car shot, you do gain a little something balancing the overexposed outdoor with the interior, but I don't know if it's worth the trouble for the average consumer to do this. So overall, I don't find Feiyu to be the magic bullet from the Feiyu Pocket. It helps a bit in some of the It helps a little bit in some situations, but it's limited by the inherent dynamic range of this camera, so it's not really worth the trouble for the average consumer. So for audio, I decided to test the internal mics practically by blogging my experience getting a second COVID-19 test. I only leveled the volume in this fake blog. So I only leveled the volume in this fake blog. So what you're hearing is more or less what is straight out of the camera. I also shot this whole thing in Feiyu and graded it. So you be the judge of the results.
Hey guys, we're doing a COVID-19 test, and I'm just mounting this here, and hopefully they don't make me shut it off when they stick that swab up my nose. I just had the first video shoot in a while, and while we practiced social distancing, we were using rental equipment, we were touching the same stuff. So here we are on the freeway to Lake Elsinore to the Lake Elsinore storm location of COVID-19 testing of project-based lighting. Okay. Okay. Oh, hey, no wait. Good. Everybody else gets a line but me.
I'm going to give you this tissue. You're going to blow your nose with it after I finish asking you some questions, okay?
This is going to be something stuck very far up the nose. So, the squeamish need not apply.
Alright, thank you so much. So it is a nasal test. I'm going to apologize in advance. A little bit uncomfortable, okay?
Yeah, I've done it once.
Oh,
yeah.
You're a pro then.
Yeah.
Alright. Weekend, okay?
Alright, thank you.
Take
You
care.
too.
Bye-bye.
I can't believe how far you could stick something up your nose. It's not something I'm going to try by myself. Oh, man, that's crazy.
So I find that the mics are really muffled. So I find that the mics are really muffled. They need a lot of little tweaks in order to make it sound clear. But what do you guys think about the overall results from these tests? Please do leave a comment to tell me what you think. But what do you guys think of the results of the test? Please do leave a comment below and let me know. My overall takeaway is that this camera would be great if it were My overall takeaway is that this camera would be great to own if it was priced even cheaper. At $249, it's not a steal compared to the current street price of the Osmo Pocket. At $249, it is not a steal compared to the current street price of the Osmo Pocket. Now, even when you consider how the Feiyu Pocket has built-in Wi-Fi, unlike the Osmo Pocket, what the heck? Now, even when you consider how the Feiyu Pocket has built-in Wi-Fi, unlike the Osmo Pocket, which needs extra money, which needs extra money to get via an accessory, the lack of integrated hardware mounting option in the Feiyu The lack of an integrated hardware mounting option in the Feiyu Pocket makes that a trade-off. Now the price will eventually get down. Get down. Now the price will eventually go down, and I would consider this a great buy if it were $149. So those who think this camera is good enough for them, wait until Labor Day sale or whatever and pick it up. So those of you who think that this camera is good enough for you, So those of you who think that this camera is good enough for them, wait until Labor Day sale. It will be much more worth it. Wait, did I punch in? I don't know. My hair is a mess. Hey, but less sweat with the air conditioning having been blasted before I started. Right? Who the hell's watching? Who's this one person watching? Okay, outro. Thanks for watching this review, and make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to know when more reviews come out. And this is when I trail off in my live taping, since nobody's commenting and I'm all alone, so I'm gonna just say, hover over this orb until that subscribe thing comes out. Then click it, then the notification bell, and then check out these other videos and whatever other call to actions that they expect me to make on YouTube, because there needs to be a call to action. There just needs to be it. Otherwise, why the hell are we doing this? People are just gonna watch one video and get distracted by a bunch of others. And I feel like I should be zoomed out for this. I feel so alone. I feel so alone in here. No one's commenting. Who the hell's watching? Who's watching right now? Who's that one person? Apparently nobody. Hold on. Let me find out who the hell's watching right now. Apparently 11:30 on a Tuesday is not a great time. Or people are all out there, protesting right now or something. Which I don't think I feel comfortable doing, especially with the huge crowds and the pandemic not being over, people. It's not over. Why are you out there right now? Well, okay, I'm not going to ask why you are out there right now. I'm going to ask you, why are you so crowded out there right now? Space it out. Find another street corner or something. Okay, looks like there's one viewer on Facebook. Who is this one viewer? I must find out. So I am going to switch to the web view, and we are going to all find out and harass the person the one person that is watching. Oh, now I have two people. I have two people watching. Hold on, let's find out who's watching on where. Yeah? Okay, who's watching? Wait, there's still just one person watching. Ah? Oh, this is interesting. It's delayed by 30 seconds, so. All right, who's watching? I will find out. Dun 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 dun. I will find you now. Dun 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 dun. Who's watching? Dun 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 dun. Oh my God, it doesn't tell me. Well, James Ridgely, I can never pronounce that right in my head. Liked it. So James, are you watching still? Are you watching still? Who dat, who dat, who dat? Who dat, who dat, who dat, dat? Who dat, who dat, who dat? Yeah, I thought that I could see who's watching, but apparently nobody? Nobody's watching? Hey, look, picture in picture in picture in picture. It's just going to go infinitely down the rabbit hole. Okay, well, nobody's saying hi. Are you all shy out there or something? Seriously, what the heck? I'm all alone here. Is that why you're not watching? I'm burping randomly. Yeah. Okay, well then, I am just going to wrap this up because I do not need to spend more hard drive space recording this and less of the interweb time. Hey, Life is Moe's. Can I live stream as this? Oh, look at this. I got a question. Life is Moe's. Thank you. You're my one viewer? I thought I was on Facebook. I had my one viewer. That's weird. Okay, no. Currently, with the current firmware and the phone software, you can't live stream with it. Now, this may change because they're constantly updating their firmware. Like, they've updated 2 times ever since I got this in my hands. So it didn't make really big changes, but it is possible, them being that active and updating their firmware. And I hope that they update their firmware, honestly. Because all my complaints about its operation, its picture or whatever, how it crops in to less than 4K to record 4K, I feel like all of that could be fixed with firmware, unless there's some really weird hardware limitation in there. I refuse to believe that. So yeah, take that for what it is. Notice how I did this motion. So I'm open to any other questions you guys have about this Feiyu Pocket Feiyu Pocket. Go Power Rangers. It's way too overexposed right here. If I tilt it, maybe, but then you won't see it. No live streaming, maybe not by the Osmo Pocket. I feel like they may have added that. No, maybe I'm thinking about the GoPro. But I actually do want to re-explore the Osmo Pocket. The only thing is that it's not wide enough for what I'm thinking of using it for. It's like, what, 24 millimeters full frame equivalent, when I think 16 millimeters would be better for me. And for those people wondering what, asking, Life as Mo says, no live streaming, maybe not by the Osmo. And I personally think that they can add that as well, especially if you are connected hardwire into your phone with its mount, that they can add that. I want to re-explore the thing because this made me appreciate the Feiyu Pocket, made me appreciate the Osmo Pocket more. So I want to re-explore the Osmo Pocket in every way, and I just have a new appreciation over what, DJI did with the Osmo Pocket. And Feiyu, yeah, sure, it's cheaper, but is it worth it? I personally think if you're buying this, choosing between this and the Osmo Pocket and want to pick up something right now, that you should just go with the Osmo Pocket, because right now it's just $50 extra as long as you don't need that Wi-Fi attachment. And that Wi-Fi attachment is pretty cool, but if you're not needing to operate it remotely and you're always going to be in front of it, yeah, $50 extra plus tax wherever you live. I think it's worth the improvement over this guy here. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not wide. I'm an in real life streamer, IRL, so I need a good camera with HDMI out or live streaming into the camera. Yeah, these cameras are not going to be your thing because there's no HDMI out. You should check out my other reviews, which are the G7X Mark III, as well as the A6100, and recently the G7X. Now, those are good low price options to look into. I would say the G7X is the best low price option. If you're okay with like a $450 price tag. Now that's better than the $800 price tag of before, but I actually still have that camera right here, actually. So it's, I personally think it's still very awesome camera being old. But I'm waiting for the ZV-1, which is admittedly $750, not cheap, to see if it blows this thing out of the water. Especially with autofocus, and see if they improved on the 1080p, the 1080p performance to at least be as good as this old 5-year-old thing. Yeah, G7X, Mark II or Mark III for sure. Now, the thing is that the 1080p is not that good for the G7X Mark III at least. So if you're going to be strictly 1080p and want high quality 1080p, maybe look into the G7X, the first generation, because that's 1080p only. And since that's one trick pony in terms of video resolution, and that's the max video resolution, it probably does it better. I have to check with my brother-in-law that uses the first generation to see if it compares. But from what I've seen out of that camera, because he sent me footage to edit for him before, it's probably not that much better going with Generation 1. But so I know I just contradicted everything I just said. Yeah, but thankfully, as long as you don't get banned doing it, you could try out cameras from like Amazon or Adorama. Adorama has a great Adorama Pro 360 that allows you a lot of time of a return policy. So you could try out a camera, see if it's for you, and return it. I mean, this is pretty small, so using the Amazon thing would not kill you. I don't think they'll ban you unless all you do is just return stuff. I mean, we spend a lot of money for home stuff on Amazon, so I don't think we're going to get banned anytime soon. We spend more than I like make them lose in terms of open box items. That's for sure. That's for sure. They profit off me more than anything, man. So, but those are good questions. Those are good questions. That's a good use case to ask about life as Moe's. And I mean, that question is on my mind as well, as I realize that, you know, I can't have any one camera that we currently own set up forever, because this camera is a dependent on photo camera for my wife, and she's eventually going to get more and more busy as the pandemic unfurls. This whole product camera that's up here, this top-down camera, is her main photo camera. So I have to start thinking about what would be, you know, a alternative. Now I have my GH5 and GH5S, which I could turn to, but sometimes I'm using that to review a lens or something. So it's a predicament that's like very first world, but it is a like content streaming predicament to have for me as well. Look, this plate has little safety things. Those are always appreciated. Yeah. So if anybody has any other questions, which I think would be just you, Life is Moe's. Yeah? Okay, well, I've definitely gone over an hour on this recording, so to avoid me having way too oh yeah, wait, it's not over an hour. That's right, it's 52 minutes. It's going to be cut down to hopefully 10 minutes. Hopefully it's not shorter than that, because maximum monetization is at least 10 minutes. So 10 minutes and 1 second, maybe. Yeah. Okay, Life is Moe's, thank you for your questions. I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. My one viewer right now, and to get more reviews, because I am going to be looking more into the cameras that are actually compatible with live streaming. So, well, my next one is the ZV-1, whenever the heck that's going to come. It says it starts shipping on the 11th, so 2 days. Okay, so cheap Canon T2i for webcam now that the Canon has the webcam beta out. I have not tried that yet. I don't have a Canon camera in-house other than the ones I quickly review to test it out. I only learn about that like after I test the G7X Mark III out. But I hear that you know, there's some kinks to work out still. All right, so but that's a good thing to think about. But I hear that the USB cannot include whatchamacallit, the shoot, how do you put this thing back properly? Does not bring audio in as well. So you're going to need some other audio input option if you are streaming with your computer, at least. I use the Scarlett Solo USB from Focusrite. I think Mevo, if you have a Mevo in real life, which has great battery life, you could use your phone as a mic. So actually look into my Mevo reviews. Definitely look into my Mevo reviews. See if that is good for you. That's not HDMI out, but it's kind of all in one. Just connect to your phone live streaming if you don't need multicam or something. If you do need multicam, you can also use that to via NDI to bring it into a switcher software. Yeah. I'm just trailing off right now. I'm gonna peace out right now. Thanks for joining Life as Moe's.